The Shark Deck.
Busy one again. I am Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Yesterday, I did the whole thing with, is the ChatGPT actually funnier than the late night writers? Let's take another look at that. The chatbot said, Joe Biden is planning to visit his ancestral home while in Ireland. He's hoping to find some long-lost relatives, but if he doesn't, he's prepared to just start hugging random strangers and calling them cousin. That's really good there, chatbot. Colbert. The trip is part diplomacy and part homecoming because Biden's ancestors came to the U.S. from Ireland in the mid-1800s when Biden was just a teen. Also a great joke. Chatbot. Hey, I heard that Biden is planning to visit a pub in Dublin while he's in town. He's hoping to try some traditional Irish food like fish and chips or a plate of Lucky Charms cereal. Not bad. One more from the chatbot. I don't know why it went here with this ice cream joke, but I kind of like it. Chatbot. Biden is known for his love of ice cream and has already scoped out the best places to get a cone in Ireland. Okay, interesting premise. He's even hoping to convince some local shops to start selling his favorite flavor, Rocky Road to the White House. See, these are good. Writers Guild, you might want to actually be worried. All right, Hank Azaria has apologized to Hari Kondabolu. You may recall that Hari put out a documentary called The Problem with Apu. In it, Kondabolu argued that the Simpsons character Apu had been harmful to South Asians in the West, citing Apu's outsized cultural footprint in a media landscape that otherwise featured a lack of South Asian representation. Let's hear from Hank Azaria.
Hi, I'm actor Hank Azaria. You might know me from my television show Brockmire, or from many TV and film roles over the years, and of course the voices that I do on The Simpsons TV show, like Mo the bartender, Police Chief Wiggum, Apu. I'm here today, though, to urge you, please watch Hari Kondabolu's new stand-up comedy special called Vacation Baby on YouTube. It's honestly one of the greatest pieces of stand-up that I have ever seen in my life. It's filled with so many hilarious and poignant anecdotes about what it's like to have a child during a global pandemic, and just the kind of thoughtful and biting social commentary that we've come to love from Hari. So please do yourself a favor and watch Vacation Baby on YouTube for free. How's that?
Hank, you nailed it. That's exactly what I wanted. Thank you.
I pretty much had to do that, didn't I?
Absolutely.
No choice.
Not really, no.
Okay, fair enough. Vacation Baby on YouTube. Really looking forward to seeing it.
Hari Kondabolu's special is out on Tuesday. I have seen it. Remember recently I hinted that I had seen a special and it was, I think I have it, let me check, 5th best of the year? Yes, I have it at 5. I have seen this one. It's out Tuesday on Netflix. It's really, really good. So my current listings, number 1, Kyle Kinane, 2, Nate Bargatze, 3, Jay McBride, 4, Jim Jeffries, 5, Hari Kondabolu, 6, Chris Rock. So don't look at me putting it 5th and being like, oh, no. It's ahead of Chris Rock's Big Deal special, okay? Number 7, of course, is the Roast of Mr. Peanut. I know you think I'm all insane. Go on YouTube, type in Roast of Mr. Peanut, and watch the long-form version of it. It's pretty good. We should have a big week of Gossip Corner coming up. Pete Davidson is going to host Saturday Night Live on May 6th. That same week, he's expected to attend the Met Gala, and he'll also have his Peacock show Bupkis out on May 4th. So around that first week of May should be a lot of Pete Davidson, which is always great for Gossip Corner. And cross promo, that's also the week of the King's coronation. So it will be a big week for Palace Intrigue. That's the daily podcast on the Radio 4 about the British royal family. Now, weather gods, could you make it rain a lot that week? Because this week here, it's in the high 80s in northern New Jersey in April, and all I want to do is sit outside and not record podcasts in my basement. So week of May 1st, if you could make the weather like really awful so I can get all this work done, that would be great. Speaking of Nate Bargatze 2 minutes ago, he is headlining. The Nashville Comedy Festival kicks off. Nate's playing Nashville's Bridgestone Arena. That's the hockey arena over by the Cool Bars downtown. Cool place. This show's called From Old Hickory to Broadway. Nate told the Tennessean, whenever I let myself daydream about success, it was playing Bridgestone. Back in 2002, Nate enrolled in classes at the Second City. After an 8-week course, he traded improv for stand-up, taking a comedy class and performing at open mics in Chicago for the next 2 years. He moved to New York in 2004, partly inspired by Jerry Seinfeld's 2002 documentary Comedian. He and the family moved to L.A. in 2012, but 2 years later, they very, very quietly moved back to Nashville. Nate kept it a secret from everyone in the business. He said, my biggest fear was they're going to think I quit, so I didn't say anything. When I traveled to L.A., my manager knew, but I didn't want somebody to not meet with me because I didn't live there. In 2017, Netflix launched a series called The Stand-Ups. Each episode featured a 30-minute set from a different comedian. Nate was on the first episode. At his next gig the following week, he said, I remember I did some jokes and they didn't hit as much as they usually do. The reason, the audience hadn't heard them. Nate said, I was like, wait, are you all here like because of me? And they're like, yeah. He said it was the first sign of panic where you're like, oh, I got to write new material. People are coming. Nate met a caddy at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, and the guy said he's been to 20 shows. You write an hour for the tour, and then you kind of change it up, but you don't change every show. When the new tour started this year, I had people fly to Jonesboro, Arkansas to watch the beginning of the tour. And I was having a great day, and then Nate had to throw this in. He takes a cue in his career from Adam Sandler. Yeah, Adam Sandler invited Nate backstage at a Sandler show. Nate said, I'm a giant fan of what Adam Sandler does. I want to create the world he created with his movies. No, don't do that, Nate. No. Nate Bargatze and Jack and Jill. No. I want to create the world he created with his movies. That's what we're trying to do with Nate Land. He's a huge inspiration to me. No, don't go the Adam Sandler route because then you'll ruin Dusty Slay. He'll be your Rob Schneider and you guys will do garbage movies. No, don't do that. The Nashville Comedy Festival does kick off. The lineup includes Ricky Smiley, Carlos Miller, David Spade, and 26 other acts from around the country. Carlos Miller said, every time I come to Nashville, I feel like I'm visiting family. The music, the food, the people, all love this city. I've never met a stranger in Nashville. Everybody shows so much love. It is a great town. If you've never been to Nashville, you should go. Why don't you get on a plane right now? Hit the Comedy Fest. Go, do it. Miller said, man, I got my picture up on the wall at Zanies. I love going back there every few months and seeing who and what they've added to that place. All right, so Nate's at Bridgestone tomorrow. Carlos Miller's at the War Memorial Auditorium tomorrow. Jason Banks at Zanies tonight and tomorrow. Lil Sasquatch at Zanies. And then I guess we can talk about the rest on Sunday. Did you already record Saturday's episode, Johnny Mac? Is that why you're slipping the Saturday dates in? Maybe. You tell me. I promised you Just for Laughs would announce some things they did. Comedians Ali Wong, she's having a moment. Jonathan Van Ness and Anthony Jeselnik. Those are the first three names announced. Just for Laughs is July 14th through the 29th. If you're in the Northeast and you can get to Montreal pretty easily, it's a 7-hour drive from northern New Jersey. Not too bad from New York City. Boston, not too bad. Cleveland, if you're in Cleveland, I don't know how long it is from Cleveland to Montreal, but you should go. And go the second week. And if you got to pick shows, I'm telling you, go see New Faces 1 and New Faces 2. Back-to-back shows, same theater. You got to pay for an entrance twice. It's not a lot of money, but that's a great thing to do. And then while you're up there, if you're not as deep into the comedy world as say I am, go see some of the bigger names. But the Montreal Comedy Festival is great. In the daytime, you can hang out up at Mount Royal. You could do Old Town. Look, if you want to hear about Montreal, my other podcast is called Travel is Back, and the Montreal episodes are actually the most popular episodes. There's probably 4 of them altogether. So Travel is Back is that podcast if you want to hear me go on about Montreal. But you should go the second week and go see New Faces. Some other names, Daniel Sloss, Mexican stand-up comic Carlos Vallarta, and Tom Papa will be there. Ali Wong's show will be joined by special guest Sheng Wang. He, of course, had the best comedy special of 2022. That's a good show. Why don't you come up to Montreal and hit Ali and Sheng and maybe hang out with me? We could have a beverage. Come on, let's do it. The host of the galas, and time out. I noticed yesterday when doing Melbourne stuff, the Australians say gala. John from Queens says gala, but anytime I'm involved with the Montreal Comedy Festival, they always say gala. Which is correct? Let's see. I have found a website, dictionary.cambridge.org/US/pronunciation, and it says how to pronounce gala noun in British English and how to pronounce gala noun in American English. Should we listen? Let's figure this out.
Gala. There will be many stars performing in the Royal Ballet's Gala Night.
Gala. The American Ballet Theatre Spring Gala raises money for community outreach programs.
Okay, 2 points here. Point number 1, for somebody who wants to sit outside because it's in the high 80s today, I'm doing a terrible job of hitting in a short podcast. Like, stop going off on distractions, Johnny Mac. You're just costing yourself editing time later. Point number 2, all right, somebody out there, if you're from Canada, hit me up. Contacts in the show notes. The Canadians say gala. Why? Just for Laughs announced as gala host comedy star Russell Peters. He'll MC 4 shows. Another gala host, Jack Whitehall. The Nasty Show will feature performances by Donnell Rawlings, Steph Tolev, and Adrienne Iapolucci. Keep an eye on her. She's fantastic. The Just for the Culture Show at Club Soda, Cool Club, will have Alonzo Bowden, Gianmarco Ceresi, Nicole Johnson, and Malik Elisai. Sounds great. Absolutely do Montreal if you can. Jenny Zagrino's album is out today. Yes, an actual album. It's called Gen Z. Love the title? Jenny told Rebellious Magazine, I'm not going to sit around and wait for people to find me and beg me to do a special. I'm just going to do it myself. Obviously, you don't do it yourself. You do it with the help of a lot of people. In August of 2021, I contacted my friend who owns a production company in New York. I was like, let's make a special. By November of 21, it was funded. Gen Z, Gen-Z, in case you didn't get the joke, has funny takes on baby boomers, Gen Z, and everyone in between. Zagrino, herself a millennial, thinks Gen Z may be a little different than previous generations, and that's a good thing. She says, I think they're going to be a little weirder, because we had 2 years inside. They're just going to be a little weird, and that's okay. I feel like Gen Z are going to be the ones that are really going to change things. The millennials were like the tester group. Let's test it out, see how it goes, and then it gets refined by Gen Z. My hope is they can stand up to what's happening. Again, fellow Gen Xers, we're like the middle child. Everybody talks about the boomers, and then the millennials came in and didn't want to work on Saturday. Those guys, Gen Z, I don't know what they're up to. They're on TikTok all day. Nobody talks about Gen X. Zagrino has a take on Steve Buscemi. She said, first of all, Steve Buscemi's not ugly. He can totally get it. He's diverse in his acting. He's talented. Who else went back? No one. Citing the fact that Buscemi, previously a New York City firefighter, rushed to the scene on September 11th. He's a great actor, and he sounds like a really stand-up dude. He has a very normal life. He's in it because he loves the art. If you enjoy what I do here, become a premium subscriber on Apple Podcasts. Open up that Purple Podcast app. They'll be like, hey, premium subscriber deal? And you go, yeah, all right, fine. I'm tired of John talking about it every day. $5 a month. You get the episodes ad-free and early. You could have had this one on Thursday afternoon. You could have been sitting in your backyard enjoying the sunny 80-something degree day and being like, hey, Friday's podcast is pretty good. I feel elite here. Those other people had to wait till Friday morning, 3:05 a.m. Eastern time. And look at me rolling large. Premium subscriptions on Apple Podcasts. Hey, my former coworker, Jamie Foxx, apparently had a little medical thing. His daughter, Corinne, released a statement on Instagram saying Jamie on Tuesday had a, quote, medical complication. We wanted to share that my father, Jamie Foxx, experienced the medical complication. Luckily, due to quick action and great care, he's already on his way to recovery. We know how beloved he is and appreciate your prayers. The family asked for privacy during this time. Leanne Morgan's special I'm Every Woman is out on Netflix. I have not yet seen it, but Decider did, and they said, we've seen rural TV families who make nice like the Waltons and hillbillies who make mayhem like Mama's Family. The Morgans seem like they might be somewhere in the middle, all thanks to their mama as the central figure and creator of disruption. She says her mom and other relatives all took Dexatrim dietary supplements when Leanne was only 17. She said, it was speed. We took speed as a family. Should you watch it? Decider says if you're looking for funny, family-friendly stories about having to put up with a spouse and children, or if you're a woman seeking some inspiration about how to age with grace and humor, then definitely, all caps, stream it. This next comedy show, I might have to check out myself personally, get out of the basement, because I want to make sure you have the best coverage of the Naked Benefit Comedy Show. Join New York City's best comedians as they strip down for a great cause. Each comedian will perform their hilarious 10-minute set naked. Proceeds from the Naked Comedy Benefit Show will benefit award-winning nonprofit organization Broadway Sings for Pride. So if you want to see them naked, this is your chance today. All right, let's take a look at the festivals. I want to go outside. It's so nice out. All right, Friday at the Moon Tower Comedy Festival, 7 o'clock Veer Daz, 7 o'clock Randy Feldface, 7:30 Jared Freed, 8 o'clock Perfect Cult, 9:30 Jay Farrow, 10 o'clock Jared Freed again, 10:30 Perfect Cult. All right, if I remember correctly, we've seen Jared Freed and Perfect Cult already. Have we gotten a Randy Feldface? Maybe we did that the first night. I know I wanted to see Veer Daz. I think we've seen everybody. Should we just drink? We haven't seen Jay Farrow yet, all right? We'll drink, and then we'll do Jay Farrow at 9:30. Now, let's do Saturday. Some people might think John recorded Saturday's podcast earlier in the week and kind of forgot to do the Moon Tower segment. I'm not sure that that's true, but, you know, just for you naysayers, Saturday's event, Seth Meyers is your headliner at 7 o'clock. Chad and JT at 7. Jared Freed again, 7:30. Joe Firestone, 8 o'clock. Seth at 9:30. Randy Feldface, Jared Freed, Joe Firestone. Okay. So we should probably go see Jad and JT at 7 and Seth Meyers late. How's that sound? Let's take a look at Melbourne. Nick Schuller's show is called Firebrand. In 2019, the Schuller family home burned down in the Black Summer bushfires. Like all good comedians, Nick has monetized his trauma, turned his family's tragedy into an hour of light entertainment. All right, let's listen.
I enjoyed watching the lockdown protests. Don't really understand why people were getting angry about the protests. It's one of the few times we get to witness natural selection occurring in real time. At no other time does the shallow end of the gene pool congregate in a single location to wipe itself out. There were lockdown protests in Queensland, despite Queensland not being in lockdown, which begs the question, can you complain about oppression while not being oppressed? The answer to which is yes, that's Sky News' business model. In the Queensland protests, a man rode a horse across the Queensland-New South Wales border. The news story had a video of the man riding a horse across the border. Then the story said, man allegedly rides horse across border. I was like, I reckon he did it.
All right. I don't pick these clips. These are the clips on the Millburn site. There's also some clapter in there in case you caught it. Nick Schiller, I'm sorry. You didn't really enjoy that? Awkward. How do you end the podcast now, John? You just say goodbye. And that's your comedy news for today. Follow the show for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your shows. I heard tomorrow's already recorded, so come back. There seems to be an episode for tomorrow. See you then. Can I interest you in some meatballs made out of mammoth meat? No? All right, hi, I'm Johnny Mack, host of 5 Good News Stories. It's a twice-a-week podcast where I share some upbeat stories like the dog who only will respond to commands if you use an Irish brogue. Or what about the guy who's filling potholes with noodles? Or the woman who, congratulations, she passed her driver's license. Oh, by the way, it was her 960th try. You heard me correctly. It's 5 Good News Stories. Nice, easy way to start your morning. 5 Good News Stories. The number 5 Good News Stories, wherever you get your podcasts.